weeks, we here at CBS 8 have been working to get answers for you when it comes to unusually high SDG&E bills that many San Diegans are receiving. We have repeatedly asked the utility company to sit down with us for an interview. And this afternoon, for the first time since we started our Amped Up series, they did. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Marcella Lee. Our Shannon Handy just finished her one-on-one interview with an SDG&E executive. She joins us now in studio with what he had to say. Shannon?
Yeah, Marcella, I think this was a long time coming for this interview. I spoke with Scott Kreider. He's the Senior Vice President of Customer Services and External Affairs. No question was off limits. Everything from why our bills are so high to how the company plans to regain people's trust. Take a listen. CBS 8 viewers are upset, they're frustrated, they're angry. Why are we paying the highest rates in the country?
Well, Shannon, let me first start off by saying that, we've heard loud and clear from our customers that they're frustrated right now. We've talked to thousands of them over the last couple of weeks, and we recognize this is a really difficult time. So, rates, have gone up. They've experienced higher bills at a time when San Diego is also experiencing, a 40-year high in inflation. So that means the cost of food, the cost of gasoline, the price of housing, everything's going up right now. So we recognize that this is a real challenging time for them, but we want them to know that we are taking action.
What action are you taking?
Shannon, there's a couple of things that we're looking at right now. Number one is that we are going to be pursuing legislation this year to help remove some of the energy programs out of the energy bill and over to the state. We think this is a common sense approach where we could provide some fast relief, to our customers while still maintaining those important energy programs. Number two is, we're talking to legislators and regulators about the need for comprehensive electric rate reform. The way that we're pricing electricity today is not going to be really in line with where we need to go as a region as we start to see more electric vehicles, less natural gas use in the home, and more electricity usage. We really need to modernize our rates here in the state of California to make sure that we're maintaining affordability while at the same time continuing to invest in the grid to make sure it's reliable and ultimately clean.
It's a tough pill to swallow, though, because the work is being done, but we don't know the results. I can't come away from this interview and say, next year your rates will go down, 2 years from now. We just don't know.
Yeah, and that's always a difficult. It's always a difficult forecast to make. Rates are very complex here in California, and again, some of this is being directed, by the Public Utilities Commission or the state legislature. So I think that what we can do, though, is that, we're going to continue to provide updates, to our customers.
In layman's terms, can you explain to people why are we paying so much outside of gas and electricity?
There's a couple of key drivers. One, the price of natural gas has risen globally. It's kind of like gasoline, where it's really a global price, and we've seen coming out of the pandemic, and we've seen these inflationary pressures on other commodities. Well, the same thing is happening to natural gas right now, and so what we saw in January is prices were about 25% higher than January of 2021. And then you couple that with the coldest December that San Diego had experienced in 5 to 10 years and a colder than usual January. So this combination of higher natural gas prices coupled with colder than usual temperatures where customers are using more heat, for their homes and natural gas to heat their homes, that is a primary driver of why customers experienced higher than normal bills this time of year.
CBS 8 viewers say they just don't trust SDG&E. They think they're being cheated. What do you have to say to that?
Well, again, I understand their frustration right now. Anytime that you get an unexpectedly large bill, we've heard from thousands of our customers, so I understand their frustration. And quite frankly, we could have done a better job at preparing and educating our customers, and I take personal responsibility for that. That's something that we're going to continue to learn from, and we're going to do better really going forward.
Now, our interview did last just over 30 minutes, so what you saw was a really small piece of that 30 minutes. So we're going to have much more at 6 o'clock from that interview.
Well, it was nice to see him take accountability, and I think that people are somewhat interested as to the reasons, but really they just want to know why prices have gone up, as you asked, 100, 200, and sometimes 300%, and you see it everywhere online. I read one comment that said, why does it feel like I want to file a police report every time I open my bill?
Right.
Like something is just not right here, but they have a lot of explanations as to why the costs are up. Are we going to see any relief anytime soon?
I can say it appears as though the price of natural gas is dropping, at least according to him. So we may see a little bit of relief in the coming months. Now, if you want to watch that whole interview, we do have it up on our website, CBS8.com. I will say, you know, a lot of people are going to see these answers and say, I didn't really get much out of this. I don't like what he had to say. But we pushed and pushed and pushed. We will continue to do so. We hope that at least sitting down and talking with us, it gives people a better understanding as to what's happening now and what they intend to do in the future.
And you know, Shannon, a lot of us lived through the wildfires, and one of the big takeaways from that is that we really have to move those power lines underground, and so that is costly as well. And I think he's right, though, just being more transparent and letting people know, like, hey, you're going to see an increase in your rates because we need to pay for some infrastructure and capital improvements.
And we touch on that too. I said, why do we have to pay for these improvement projects? Why do we have to foot so much of that bill? So